And look who's in the room. It's Quinn Tempest, everybody. How are you, Quinn?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm here in the Midwest, specifically in Central Ohio,
Oh,
and
I'm
we're
sorry.
approaching 70 degrees. So I know that's chilly for you guys there in Phoenix, but we'll take
Yeah.
70 in mid-April or
No,
March.
that's great. I mean, it's probably 70 here today. So we're just getting into spring here. I thought it'd be much colder for you. So I'm happy you're not freezing.
No, I got the short sleeve on, and yeah, it's fantastic. We even got some of the windows open, a fresh air coming in. So spring fever is in the air. It's
fantastic. See, that's the difference between you and me then, because it's 70 here and I have pants on, a jacket, and a scarf. So I'm cold.
Right. Yeah, it's such a huge landmass that we live here in the United States. You get quite a bit of different. Shoot, even from our part of the state, you go up north toward Lake Erie, you go up a couple hours, and the temperature changes quite a bit. So
yeah, same here in Arizona.
Well, it's good to have you here, everyone. Quinn Tempest is she's a business strategist and coach who helps entrepreneurs and SMBs create more purpose and profit in their businesses without burning out. She's the founder of Create Your Purpose. It's a global community of entrepreneurs dedicated to building impactful business with intention. Her professional expertise is in brand building and content marketing strategy. She's also been a regular speaker with us at digital summits, including our summit coming up this month at the end of the month, which you still have time to buy your pass for that. And it's specifically on small and medium business. So Quinn, I have to tell you, first of all, thanks for joining us. And second, can you give everybody a little bit of a sneak peek on what you're going to be talking about this month at the Small and Medium Business Conference?
Yeah, and you know what? I was trying to think of how many digital summits I've done, and I've lost count. It's that many. So I'm like an OGer from gosh, it must be like 2014, 2015 in person. I really miss that, but I'm excited.
Here's your bragging point about that.
Okay.
We only invite back the people who get good ratings.
That's true. And I've got great ratings.
Yeah. So you only get a second date if the first date was successful. So you're doing something right.
Yeah, and it just gets easier and easier. I mean, my first workshop with Digital Summit, I used to do the half-day content marketing workshops. So afterwards, I couldn't do anything but just drink wine and just be tired and not think. And then it went to 30-minute presentations in person and flying around the country. And now I just get to do it from home. So it just gets easier and easier, but still just as fun as the very first day. So the one that I'm doing coming up is going to be called Instagram Marketing with Intention. And this is really based on years of my working with small business owners and entrepreneurs. I also work with a lot of female founders and just identifying the challenges that they face, which are unique compared to B2B, compared to corporate on Instagram specifically. So what we're going to be really talking about is three things: systems, strategy, and purpose, which is my favorite thing. So first and foremost, you have to have a strategy and you have to document it on Instagram. But so many small businesses don't ever take the time to sit down and think about who's my target audience, and then how am I going to translate my content marketing strategy for Instagram specifically. And I see so many small businesses, entrepreneurs, just take what they are doing on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, TikTok or whatever the kids are doing these days, Clubhouse, and they just take that and try to port it over to Instagram without thinking about the idiosyncrasies that Instagram truly has. And it has a lot. And you can't just try to replicate a content strategy from another platform because it will fall flat on Instagram. So that's the first thing. We're going to talk about strategy. And then the next thing is what most entrepreneurs fail at when it comes to Instagram marketing, and that's having a system. So actually getting all of your content in one place, actually thinking through, how am I going to organize this? What is my cadence going to be? And how can I show up consistently as well as confidently to share my message? So I see a lot of entrepreneurs that I've worked with do the first piece. They think about strategy, but then they don't actually get organized. So then they ghost their audience for months, or they post for a couple of weeks and then they don't show up for another couple of weeks. And that doesn't get you results, right? And that's not a way to nurture a relationship with your audience either, is by ghosting them. And then last but not least, we'll talk about purpose. And this is all about kind of diving deep underneath the surface of systems and strategy. So getting to the core of your message so that you really tap into what that is, so your strategy can be so much more successful. And I have found a lot of the companies I work with that don't get this piece also don't understand Instagram. They think it's just another platform to talk at their audience, but really Instagram is the most powerful platform to create a relationship with your audience, to actually talk with them. And you have to adapt your content strategy to have a discussion versus just promote, promote, promote. So those are the three major things we'll be talking about in that session. And it will all be geared towards small business owners, entrepreneurs, even solopreneurs, because I am one of them too. And we have totally different challenges than bigger companies out there on Instagram.
Yeah, I love Instagram. And I think a lot of what you're putting out great. Is that a similar format that you follow for all your clients?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's part of the intentional Instagram framework I've created. Yeah. And you really have to go step by step. Usually we start with purpose and really get to the core of the message. And then we extend that to a strategy. And again, it has to be specific to Instagram. And then we create a system so that they can actually post consistently on all parts of the platform. Because remember, Instagram has grown exponentially beyond just the news feed, which is what we normally think of when we think of Instagram, just pretty pictures we get to scroll through. But now there are even better parts of the platform that can reach your audience even more consistently, like stories. That's personally my favorite. There's Reels, which I'm still dabbling with, but a lot of people, especially small businesses, have seen exponential growth through it. And then there's also IGTV, there's Threads, there's so many different parts of the platform. And if you can really master the art of repurposing, like not having to create one thing for every part, but creating one piece of content and then exploding it out into multiple, you can create a system that feels good to you as an entrepreneur and also saves you time, which is what we all need.
Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about your company, your business that you started. It's remind me creating
Create Your
Purpose, which sounds like a chapter out of Purpose Driven Life by Pastor Rick. But
I don't know that.
Come on.
No, I don't.
Probably, oh man, it might be 10, 15 years old. But
okay. Yeah, well, so I've been in business for myself for 10 years, but Create Your Purpose came about probably 3 years ago. And it was to really address the needs of small business owners, of solopreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs who wanted to build a business that lights them up, but also makes money at the same time. And I think hustle culture tries to tell us, and many of us have internalized this belief, that we can't have both. We can't have a deep sense of meaning in our purpose and make money at the same time. You know, all we're told is work, work, work. You're going to not have boundaries. You're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to burn out. And that doesn't actually leave a lot of room for meaning and for purpose and for a sense of magic that I think entrepreneurship can bring. And so my goal with my business now, which is called Create Your Purpose, and I even own the trademark, which is very exciting. I can say TM or R with a little circle, is to really empower people to not just tap into their purpose, but to also build a profitable business strategy based on their why. So what I always say is let your why drive your what, not the other way around. And one of those whats that is so powerful nowadays is Instagram specifically, because it's one of the best platforms for you to actually get your message out there, to attract the tribe that will actually resonate with that message, and to test out different ideas and messaging along the way. So my business is all about helping people tap into that why, but even more so is learning to let that why drive their what in their marketing and everything that they do.
And so I'm going to ask an odd question here, but how do you separate that out, working with businesses and have them come up with strategy on Instagram in a place where, you know, we have like the influencers, the Instagram models who pose with the protein drink, et cetera. How do you get them to think differently on a platform like that, where there's a little bit of that visual noise?
Yeah, I mean, we can go about it two ways. There are some entrepreneurs who really want to tap into their purpose first and foremost, because they feel all over the place. They feel scattered. They feel like they're spinning their wheels doing all the things. So they know something's not connecting for them. And so we have to tap into purpose first and then extend that out. But then to your point, There are other people I have to trick. I have to trick them through marketing, and I have to trick them through learning tactics and strategies and content creation to help them stand out. But as I'm tricking them, and like I say this jokingly, but as I'm teaching them tactics, I'm also introducing them to the deeper part of their message, or at least in sparking in them curiosity as to what that may be. And that's going to make their messaging so much more powerful. That's going to make their tactics, their strategies, all of those nitty gritty things that they're doing on Instagram so much more resonant, not just for their audience, but for them too. Because what I find with small businesses, entrepreneurs on Instagram is they get burnt out. They're like, I'm doing all of these things. I'm posting 3 times a day. I'm showing up in stories, and I'm not seeing results. And that can be really hard. Like, I'm not saying that that's not difficult, because it is, but you have to keep showing up regardless of those things. Your message matters whether it gets 1 like or 1,000. And so you have to just keep showing up and doing it over time, because over time you will see results. It might not be the results that you saw just 8 years ago, and it might not be the result that influencer sees when she posts a butt photo, but it's going to be meaningful to you. So I think that's really the art of using Instagram with intention, is touching on what matters to you most and then showing up consistently with that message on the platform like Instagram that can reach the audience in a most powerful way.
I got to admit, butt photo is a first for us here on the Marketing Spotlight. Congratulations.
You won't find any of mine, so don't worry.
That's good. On another note, what you're kind of talking about, though, is it's coming down to like personal branding, right? And Instagram's great for that.
Yeah, I mean, personal branding is part of it, but I've worked with small businesses, entrepreneurs who have a brand name and they lead with that. But I find more and more the conversations I'm having, especially with women, is they have their brand, but then on Instagram, they brand themselves personally. And I've done this too. This is my approach, is I am Quinn Tempest on Instagram, the founder of Create Your Purpose. And this just adds a more personal touch. And also, you don't have to feel like you're so limited, and you can be a little bit more broad. And I think that's what so many larger brands don't get on Instagram, that I think they could learn from people like me, from people like the people that will be coming to the next digital summit, is having a personal touch, actually amplifying voices of their team members so that there can be a relationship built. It's harder to build relationships with brands that are big and monstrous unless unless it's like B2C or like a product company, like, and there's a lifestyle around it. Yeah. But for other organizations, like, start to think about who in your company can be the face. And I think more and more entrepreneurs, small business owners are seeing that really works for them, and not just for our audience, but again, for them too. It's more fun.
And we had a question come in here, and I'll post it on here if you can see it on the screen. Stacey says, I wish Instagram helped out more for organic posting for direct links. On calls actions, you have to scroll up to the top if you want to go to the link, which doesn't make it easy for potential clients. You lose them if it's too much work. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. It's difficult, but I also think you have to remember Instagram is so different than other platforms, because most of the engagement happens actually on the app. Whereas Facebook or Twitter, it is about links. It's about linking off. And even with like the shop portion of Instagram now and just everything they've done, they've kept a lot of the engagement on the platform for that reason. And so as content creators, as business owners, we have to consistently get creative about how we, and I call it, build a content bridge to move our audience on Instagram to, sign up for something or to get on our email list. But that's a really important strategy that should be at the top of your list. The more and more of an audience you build on Instagram, you have to remember you don't own them. You don't own your followers. Mark Zuckerberg does, and that guy's got plenty to work with. So really what you want to do is keep looking at ways to push people off. Obviously, link in bio, having calls to action to do that consistently is good. If you can get to 10,000 followers, you're going to get the swipe ups on Instagram stories, which is a goal in itself to reach for if you do it authentically. And then, unfortunately, I'm going to say try paid ads. I know he mentioned, I can't remember his name, but he mentioned about organic direct calls to action. But actually paid ads on Instagram, specifically Instagram stories, are pretty inexpensive and they're worth testing out. So I have a quiz running right now. It's my main lead generator. After working with an ad consultant for a little bit of time, we got my cost per lead down to about $1 per lead through Instagram story ads. So it is possible. And if you can kind of really create that offer and bridge your audience off of Instagram, you can do it. And that's going to be worth it in the long run, to be honest. Like, I'm even noticing it this week. All of a sudden, my Instagram story views plummeted. I have no idea why. I'm not even going to try to figure it out, because this happens.
It is not because you were coming on this show.
No, I don't know why, right? It's weird. And so it went down to like a third, even 25% of what I normally get. And instead of like freaking out about it, I'm letting it reset. I'm not going to post for a while. And I know I have my email list as a backup, because for years I've been moving my audience with all these different offers, all of these different downloads and masterclasses and offers to my email list, so I can own that relationship and nurture it outside of the whims of the algorithm. So that's something to always consistently be looking for. And I know it sucks and I know it's not easy, but keep doing link in bio, get to 10K followers, and try supplementing it with some ads.
That's great advice. Now, I'm not asking you to pick your favorite child, but out of like your clients, what's your favorite kind of client to work with? Don't have to name a name, but like, what's the kind of client you really get excited? Like, all right, this is a good, like almost like a hairdresser's like, I got a great mop of hair I'm going to fix here. Not that I would know. What kind of client are you just like, all right, I get charged up on this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all the women who are in my collective. So I think you mentioned in my bio that I run a community. It's called the Create Your Purpose Collective. So it's a membership community of female founders and entrepreneurs. And really, they're entrepreneurs at all stages. So it's not just people who've been in it a long time. Some of them don't have a business. Some of them are in the middle. But we're all connected by the common thread of wanting to build a business that lights us up and also makes us money. So that combination of an interest and passion to tap into their deeper purpose as an entrepreneur, and then actually create a profitable strategy. And I've seen them come in all different shapes and sizes. So I have yoga teachers, I have marketing strategists, I have who else? Dancers. I have so many just amazing women who have built businesses with an online component, and they really want to like do it in a way that makes them feel better. So that would be my hairdresser moment. And I've got good hair, so I know my ideal hairdressing client.
You have great hair, even though you decided to cover it up with a lid today.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I've got a client referral I want to send to you. So
cool.
Don't let me forget.
Yeah.
All right. On your website, you talk about some things that make you tick, and I want to let's have some fun talking about.
Oh, I don't remember them.
Yeah, I picked out a few of them. You ready? City life. I know you're doing a lot with the city of Phoenix, so let's talk about that. What's about city life that makes you tick?
Yeah, and I'm sure people are like, wait, you live in Phoenix and you call yourself a city girl? Isn't Phoenix just a long connecting road of suburbs? And yes, it is, but not where I live. So I actually am right here in my loft in downtown Phoenix, and it's very urban down here. We don't own a car, my husband and I, so we walk and bike everywhere in Phoenix, which is
rare for Phoenix.
Yeah, very rare. Well, I mean, it's rare that you would choose that. There's a lot of people who don't have the privilege to choose that, but we choose it. And that's because we live in an area that makes that possible. So I call myself an urbanista. I love walking. I love sitting at sidewalk cafes back when that was a thing. I love murals. I love being part of the city. And my husband and I have been very involved in advocating for the revitalization of the area we live in, which is now very revitalized, but for many years it was kind of a pariah in Phoenix that you wouldn't come to downtown. So I love cities. I love traveling to cities. I love living in one, and we have really made it our home here too.
And you're involved. You do some work with the city of Phoenix, right?
Yes. So I am on the board of directors for downtown Phoenix, which is kind of the business improvement district that is revitalizing the area. I am the youngest one, and there's a lot of older, and not to
hey, you go, girl.
Not to bag on you, but older white men in suits who are donors, which is great, and like they're getting it running with finances. But I was appointed by the mayor to represent the community because I live here, and so that's been a really big honor. We were very involved.
There are old white people in Phoenix?
Yeah, lots of them. Yeah, just a few.
All right. Number 2 makes you tick. Color.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got some color on today. Yeah, I love color. And frankly, It's been one of the things that's really helped me build my brand. What I did even on Instagram many years ago when I went to a personal brand was do a little competitive analysis. And I found that so many people in my space, because I used to do web design and brand strategy and all of that, so many people in my space had the same aesthetic. It was like, white marble desks, pink roses, and like gold paper clips. And I'm like, that's not me. And so I just leaned into my love of color, my personal love of color. And I also started integrating photography of me in downtown Phoenix and all of these murals. And it became part of my brand. It makes me stand out. It built my following on Instagram. And it's also something I just really love. So yeah, yay for color.
All right. Third one is, and this one's going to throw you because you said you have travel on there. But now you're telling me someone who doesn't have transportation besides a bicycle, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. So
yeah,
where's the first place you're going to go when it feels safe to travel?
Yeah, it's such a bummer because this is for everyone, so I'm not going to give a whole sob story. But yeah, my husband had just gotten approved for a 2-month sabbatical, and we were just the weekend everything closed down, just about to book a 2-month trip through Morocco, Spain, and Portugal. And so yeah,
Europe. I knew it.
I know. I have my very European outfit on today, so that's what we were going to do. But I think we've come to the realization that that's not going to happen anytime soon. So we are considering just going to Costa Rica, which we've had some friends go during the pandemic. We already have had our first dose. So once we get our second and wait a while, we're thinking about doing that because it's all outdoors. We're not going to be around too many people. So that's I think is what we're going to be doing. Maybe later this summer, fall.
It's beautiful down there. And I was talking to somebody about it the other day, and I don't think most Northern Americans, most Americans don't even think about going to Central or South America.
Oh, really? We've been to Peru, and yeah, I love it down. I haven't been to Central, but I've been to Peru.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. What else I got for you? Marketing trends you're following right now.
Oh gosh. I don't know if I'm following many trends. Reels on Instagram. Okay. I'm not really following it. I'm totally the person who's hearing about TikTok, hearing about Clubhouse. I'm like, I don't have time for that. And I've got a good thing going over here. So why don't I just double down on the thing that's working? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's because I'm not young anymore, and I just I can't just jump into it. But yeah, podcasts are a thing I'm trying. I just produced as in sat on my bathtub and then put out an episode and and decided I was just going to do it of my own, Create Your Purpose podcast. I've heard good things about Clubhouse, but I signed up for it. I haven't tried it. It just sounds like an app for podcast listening, I think. I don't know. So
yeah. I think it's a lot of platforms. It's trying to find its space.
Yeah.
Get there. Do you think, but with audio being kind of a trend, do you see a place for that on something like Instagram with it, especially with more of that social, everyone come together and sort of share? Or do you think Instagram is kind of it's where it is and it's?
No, I think so. I think they just rolled something out, and I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it was Threads or Live Rooms. I think it might be Live Rooms where you can now have up to 4 people at a time. And I think it was similar to Clubhouse, but I believe they use video. I'm guessing you can repurpose it to audio. But the way I see Instagram is just, and I hate to say this because I love Instagram, but they do kind of take the hot thing and copy it. And then because they have such a market share, stories with Snapchat, Reels was TikTok, and was and is because they're still around. But Instagram has such a market share, and they have such a way of evolving the technology so quickly that the first time something rolls out, like Reels, it's really finicky and awkward. But then 3 months later, it's either up to what TikTok was or even better. And although some people argue that. So yeah, I think they kind of cannibalize the other systems and then make it part of theirs. And sometimes they make it better just because of the size of their company. But yeah, I think that will probably be a thing we see. And I think they've already started rolling out some of that.
Good stuff. All right, we're going to wrap up here, Quinn. This was fantastic. I want to remind everybody, Digital Summit at Home, our small and medium business Virtual event is at the end of this month, March 29th to 31st. It's either 3 days if you buy an all access pass, which includes the masterclass, or you can just do the 2 days, which would be the 30th and 31st. And Quinn will be one of our guest speakers. We talked about that today. And so we are excited to have you there, and we look forward to seeing you at the end of the month.
Yeah, it should be a good one. I'll hope to see some of you there.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.